Hey friends, welcome back readers. Today, we are going to talk about a book that has created more millionaires than any university, any degree, or any business school in the world. Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill. And friends, this is not just a book. This is a 20-year research project. Napoleon Hill personally studied over 500 of the most successful and richest people in history. Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison,
and extracted
one common secret from all of them, one formula. That formula is hidden inside this book.
And today, we are going to unlock it completely for you.
Now here is the question that must be in your mind. If this formula exists, why are most people still poor? Why are most people still struggling? Why do people work hard their entire lives and still have nothing to show for it? The answer is not what you think. It is not lack of money. It is not lack of education.
It is not even lack of opportunity. The answer is something that is happening inside your mind right now, without you even knowing it. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what that is. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, then before you get carried away by this video, immediately subscribe the channel and like the video. Our videos can sometimes be a little long because we never compromise on the content of the book. So it is very important to watch the video till the end. If you want to collaborate with us, you can also email us immediately. So let's begin. Napoleon Hill was born in 1883 in a small village in Virginia, America. He was extremely poor as a child. At the age of 13, he started writing for small newspapers just to survive. Then one day, a meeting changed his entire life. He got the opportunity to interview the richest man in the world at that time, Andrew Carnegie. Carnegie spoke to Hill for 3 days, 3 full days. And at the end of those 3 days, Carnegie gave Hill a challenge. He said, "I will give you no money. I will give you no financial support.
But I will open doors for you to meet the most successful people in the world. Will you spend 20 years studying them and give the world the formula for success?" Napoleon Hill said yes, and Think and Grow Rich is the result of those 20 years. Now let us understand the real lessons of this book, one by one.
The first step, desire, the starting point of all achievement. Friends, Napoleon Hill says that the very first step toward becoming rich is not a business plan. It is not an investment. It is not even hard work. It is desire. But not just any ordinary desire. Hill says there is a massive difference between wishing for something and burning desire. Most people wish. Very few people burn. Let us understand the difference with a simple example. Imagine 2 people. Both want to become successful. The first person says, "I really want to be rich someday." He thinks about it sometimes, he reads a few articles, he watches a few videos, but when life gets difficult, he gives up. The second person wakes up every morning with one thought. He sleeps every night with one thought. He is obsessed. He cannot think of anything else. He has decided that failure is simply not an option. That second person has burning desire. And Hill says that burning desire is the first secret of every single millionaire he studied. Here is what Andrew Carnegie told Hill. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Read that again. Conceive, believe, achieve. Most people can conceive a big dream. Very few people truly believe it. And that gap between conceiving and believing is where most dreams die.
So how do you develop this burning desire? Hill gives a very specific technique. You have to write down exactly how much money you want to earn. You have to write down the exact date by which you want to earn it. You have to write down exactly what you are going to give in return for that money, because Hill believed that nothing comes for free in this universe. And then you have to read this statement aloud, twice every day, once in the morning, once at night. And while reading it, you have to see yourself already in possession of that money. Feel it, experience it in your mind as if it is already real.
this is not fantasy. This is programming. You are sending a clear, specific instruction to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind will begin to find the path.
The second step, faith. The visualization of and belief in attainment of desire. Hill says that desire alone is not enough. You must pair your desire with absolute faith. And friends, this is where most people fail. They want something desperately, but deep inside, they don't truly believe they can have it. There is a small voice in the back of their mind saying, "Who are you to be rich? People like you don't succeed. Be realistic." That voice is the enemy. That voice has destroyed more dreams than any external obstacle ever could. Hill says that faith is a state of mind that can be developed. It is not something you either have or you don't. It is something you build deliberately, through repetition, through affirmations, through visualization. The same way you build a muscle at the gym.
Here is a real example from the book. Henry Ford had no formal education. He could barely read. His engineers and advisors told him again and again that a V8 engine with all 8 cylinders cast in one block was impossible. It could not be done. Ford looked at them and said, "Produce it anyway." His team tried and failed for 1 full year. They came back to Ford and said, "It is impossible." Ford said, "Continue. I want it, and I will have it." Within a few more months, the secret was discovered. The V8 engine was born. Why? Because Henry Ford had faith that was stronger than the opinion of experts, stronger than temporary failure, stronger than logic itself. Hill teaches a method for building this faith. He calls it auto-suggestion. Every morning before your day begins, you sit quietly. You close your eyes, and you repeat to yourself with full emotional intensity the exact goal you have written down. You do not say it like you are reading a shopping list. You say it like you already have it. You feel the emotions of success as if it is happening right now. And friends, your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between something that is vividly imagined and something that is real. This is not a theory. This is how your brain works. The third step, auto-suggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. Now we go deeper. Auto-suggestion is the bridge between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Hill says that your subconscious mind is like extremely fertile soil. Whatever seed you plant in it, it will grow. If you plant thoughts of poverty, of failure, of limitation, those will grow. If you plant thoughts of wealth, success, and abundance, those will grow. The soil does not judge, it does not question. It simply grows whatever you plant. The problem is that most people are planting seeds of failure every single day without realizing it. Every time you say, "I can't afford this," every time you say, "I'm not smart enough," every time you say, "People like me don't get those opportunities," you are planting a seed, and your subconscious mind is growing exactly what you are planting. So Hill says you must take conscious control of what you are planting. Use your desire statement. Repeat it with emotion. Repeat it with belief. And repeat it consistently. 1 or 2 times is not enough. It must become a habit. It must become as natural as breathing. Because the thoughts you repeat most often become your dominant thoughts. And your dominant thoughts shape your actions. And your actions shape your reality. The fourth step, specialized knowledge. Friends, Hill makes a very important distinction here that most people completely miss. He says there are 2 types of knowledge, general knowledge and specialized knowledge. General knowledge, no matter how much of it you have, is almost useless for accumulating wealth. Think about it. Professors and teachers have enormous amounts of general knowledge, but most of them are not wealthy. Because general knowledge is not power. Organized, applied, specialized knowledge is power. Hill says that you do not need to know everything. You need to know one thing deeply. And more importantly, you need to know how to find what you don't know through the right people.
This is why he talks so much about the mastermind group, which we will come to shortly. The most successful people in history were not the most educated people. Carnegie himself admitted that he knew almost nothing about the technical side of the steel business, but he knew how to surround himself with people who did, and that made him the richest man in the world. So the question is not how much do you know?
The real question is, are you developing deep expertise in one specific area that the world needs and will pay for? Because that is where wealth is created. The fifth step, imagination, the workshop of the mind.
Hill describes imagination as the most powerful tool a human being possesses. He says that every great fortune, every great invention, every great achievement was first created inside someone's imagination before it ever existed in the physical world. The airplane existed in the Wright brothers' imagination before it ever left the ground. The light bulb existed in Edison's imagination before it ever lit a room. Your success must first exist completely in your imagination before it can exist in your life. Hill talks about two forms of imagination. The first is synthetic imagination, where you rearrange existing ideas, concepts, and plans into new combinations. Most business ideas work this way. Someone took a restaurant and made it fast. Someone took a taxi and made it an app. The second is creative imagination, where entirely new ideas are born, where inspiration arrives seemingly from nowhere when your mind is quiet, focused, and open. Both are powerful. Both must be exercised. Just like a muscle that has not been used becomes weak, an imagination that is never challenged becomes dull. Hill says that every time you sit down and seriously visualize your goal with full detail, full emotion, full sensory experience, you are exercising your creative imagination. You are building the mental blueprint that your subconscious mind will use to guide your actions. The sixth step, organized planning. Friends, desire without a plan is just a daydream. Hill says that after you have developed your burning desire and your faith, you must translate them into a definite, organized plan. And then you must act on that plan immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, immediately. Because the universe rewards action. It does not reward intention. But here is where most people stop. They make a plan, the plan fails, and they quit. Hill says this is the biggest mistake anyone can make. He studied 500 successful people and found one thing they all had in common. Not one of them succeeded on their first plan. Not one. Every single one of them failed, multiple times. The difference between those who became rich and those who stayed poor is that the successful ones simply refused to stay down. They made a new plan. They tried again, and again, and again. Hill introduces a concept of the mastermind here. A mastermind is a group of two or more people who work together in perfect harmony toward a definite purpose. Hill says that when two or more minds come together in this way, something extraordinary happens. A third mind is created, an invisible intelligence that is greater than the sum of its parts. Every single successful person Hill studied had a mastermind group. Carnegie had over 50 people in his. Ford had his. Edison had his. Your environment and the people around you are not just company. They are co-creators of your reality. Choose them with extreme care. The seventh step, decision, the mastery of procrastination. Hill analyzed 25,000 people who had experienced failure in their lives, and he found one common weakness in almost all of them: the habit of making decisions slowly or not making them at all. Successful people make decisions quickly and change them quickly. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them quickly. This single habit is responsible for more financial failure than almost any other factor. Think about this. Every time you delay a decision, you are giving fear more time to grow. You are giving doubt more time to take root, and you are letting opportunity pass you by. Because opportunity does not wait, it moves. And if you are not ready to move with it, it will find someone who is. Hill says that once you have gathered enough information to make a decision, make it. Commit to it fully, and then adjust as you go. Decisive people attract success. Indecisive people repel it. The 8th step, persistence. The sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Friends, this is perhaps the most important chapter in the entire book. Hill says that there is one quality that separates all people who accumulate wealth from all those who do not. It is not intelligence. It is not talent. It is persistence. The will to keep going when everything is telling you to stop. Hill tells the story of R.U. Darby. Darby's uncle had caught gold fever during the gold rush. He staked a claim, started digging, and found ore. He borrowed money from relatives, bought machinery, sent ore to the smelter. The returns confirmed they were sitting on one of the richest gold mines in Colorado. Then something happened. The vein of gold disappeared. They drilled further. Nothing. They gave up, sold all the machinery for almost nothing to a junk dealer, and went home. That junk dealer called in a mining engineer to look at the mine. The engineer calculated that the vein of gold was just 3 feet from where Darby and his uncle had stopped drilling. 3 feet! The junk dealer made millions, and Darby went home with nothing. Not because the gold wasn't there, but because he stopped 3 feet short. Hill asks, how many people are 3 feet from their breakthrough right now? How many people have given up on a business, a goal, a dream, just before the moment it would have changed everything? Persistence is the answer. Not blind persistence without direction, but informed, adjusted, relentless persistence toward a clear goal. The 9th step, the power of the mastermind. We touched on this earlier, but it deserves its own moment. Hill says that no individual has ever achieved great success entirely alone. The accumulation of great wealth always involves the cooperation and collaboration of other people. Your mastermind group is not just a network. It is not just a support system. It is a source of power that you literally cannot access alone. Each person in your mastermind brings their experience, their knowledge, their connections, and their energy. When all of that combines in one focused direction, the result is exponentially greater than what any one person could achieve. Carnegie understood this so deeply that he said if you took away all of his factories, all of his money, all of his resources, but left him with his mastermind group, he would rebuild everything within 5 years. So look around you right now. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Are they growing? Are they dreaming? Are they building? Or are they stuck, complaining, and satisfied with ordinary? Because your mastermind, whether you know it or not, is already forming your destiny. The 10th step, the mystery of sex transmutation. This is the chapter that most people skip, and it is one of the most powerful. Hill says that the most powerful creative energy a human being possesses is sexual energy. But he is not talking about what most people think. He is talking about transmutation, the process of redirecting that energy from physical expression into creative, intellectual, and productive pursuits. Hill observed that the most successful people he studied were driven by an almost inexhaustible creative energy, and that energy had a source. They had learned, consciously or unconsciously, to channel their most primal, most powerful human drive into their work, their vision, their mission. Hill says that when a man or woman develops burning desire for their goal and channels all of their emotional and creative energy into it, they enter a state of heightened mental activity, Ideas come faster. Solutions appear more easily. Energy becomes seemingly unlimited. This is why Hill says that your burning desire must be emotional. It must not just be intellectual. It must be felt deeply, physically, in your entire being. Because the mind that is emotionally charged is a mind that is operating at full power. The 11th step, the subconscious mind, the connecting link. Friends, we come back to something that you may already know a little about, the subconscious mind. Hill says that your subconscious mind is constantly at work, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is receiving every thought, every emotion, every belief you hold, and it is using them to shape your experience of reality. You cannot stop it from working, but you can control what you feed it.
Hill identifies 7 major positive emotions that you should feed to your subconscious mind: desire, faith, love, sex, enthusiasm, romance, hope. And he identifies 7 major negative emotions that will destroy your results: fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, superstition, anger. He says that the subconscious mind is influenced far more by emotion than by cold thought. So it is not enough to think the right thoughts. You must feel the right emotions. You must approach your goal with genuine enthusiasm, genuine love, genuine faith, not as a performance, as a practice. The 12th step, the brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Hill was writing in the 1930s, but what he described about the brain aligns remarkably well with what modern neuroscience is now proving. He said that the human brain is both a transmitter and a receiver of thought vibrations. When your mind is charged with strong emotion and focused desire, it broadcasts at a frequency that attracts corresponding thoughts, ideas, and people into your life. This is not mysticism. This is the foundation of what we now understand about focus, attention, and the reticular activating system of the brain. When you decide on a clear goal and focus on it with intensity, your brain literally begins to filter your entire experience of the world to surface opportunities, information, and people that are relevant to that goal. They were always there, but you weren't tuned into them. Now you are, and suddenly the world seems to be conspiring in your favor. The 13th step, the 6th sense, the door to the temple of wisdom. This is the final step, and Hill calls it the apex of the entire philosophy. The 6th sense is that part of the subconscious mind which Hill describes as creative imagination. It is the faculty through which ideas, plans, and hunches appear spontaneously in the mind. It is the voice of intuition. And Hill says that after you have practiced all the previous steps, desire, faith, autosuggestion, knowledge, imagination, planning, decision, persistence, mastermind, transmutation, after you have practiced all of these consistently, the 6th sense begins to activate. You begin to receive warnings of danger before it arrives. You begin to receive inspiration for creative solutions before you have consciously worked them out. You develop a kind of inner navigation that guides you towards your goal with increasing accuracy. Hill says this cannot be fully explained in intellectual terms. It must be experienced. And it is only experienced by those who have put in the work of all the previous steps. Friends, this is the complete formula that Napoleon Hill extracted from 500 of the most successful people who ever lived. Desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, mastermind, transmutation, subconscious mind, the brain, the 6th sense. 13 steps, 1 destination. The life you were born to live. The reason most people will never use this formula is not because it is too complicated. It is because it requires something most people are not willing to give: full commitment.
No backup plan. No plan B. Just a burning, unshakable decision that you will succeed, and that failure is simply not an option. So today, we want to ask you one question. What is your definite chief aim? What is the one thing you want more than anything else in this world? Write it down. Say it aloud. Feel it with everything you have. And then begin. Because the path begins the moment you decide to walk it. Thank you, friends. I hope you loved this video. I hope something in this video has sparked something inside you that will not go out. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, immediately subscribe and like and comment the video. This increases our motivation consistently.